We're going to lead right off with our first guest, Brian Richey. So the head men, you're smiling because we're talking off camera a little bit. One of our former co-workers is a Ryan Richey. So we've been trying to make sure we get the names right. So Brian Richey, head coach for the men's golf program at Florida Southern, and just carrying around a little national championship and Coach of the Year award at the same time.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it, guys.
So what's it feel like being named the Coach of the Year?
It's a tremendous honor, not only with our program, with Coach Matlock and Coach Gordon already receiving that honor, but just throughout the country, just some of the great coaches that you're going up against week in and week out, especially in our region and our conference. You know, there's some of the best there. So to win that award is obviously a huge honor and just a testament to the year that our guys had.
Brian, congratulations on an amazing year this year. The collegiate sports landscape is changing on almost a regular basis. And with the transfer portal and NIL, and you coming off just such an amazing season, at the elite Division II levels, like Florida Southern is at, and with the tradition and the history that you all have, how do you navigate some of the D1s that come in and may try to get some of your unbelievable talent that you have? And how has NIL affected you?
Yeah, it's definitely been a challenge. I'm starting, pretty new to this recruiting landscape the last couple years. We're always going to fight that battle a little bit with Division I wanting our players because we get the kind of players that have opportunities before we get them. They're choosing us when they have maybe some other Division I chances. So it's just one of those things. You might have to deal with some things year in and year out that you're not expecting. But yeah, we want guys that want to be here. They're going to give us their all while they're here, and we know we have some great facilities and great weather and great courses to offer. So we are a Division II program, but we feel like we're a Division I program disguised in that, in that sense. So.
Absolutely, and those players, your student athletes, are the type of players that can go up and make an immediate impact.
For sure.
How we had talked before about a lot of golf is really kind of an individual sport. How has NIL affected you at all, or has it not? It
hasn't quite hit us yet. Yeah. I know that if we continue on the trajectory that we're on, we'll have to start facing some of those challenges as well. But yeah, it's certainly made its way into the men's game at Division I level. Probably a little bit Division II, but it's not quite fully affecting us too much. It's just one of those things where it could happen. You might have some of the better programs see a couple of our guys have a great year, and they may be trying to come get one of them.
So, Coach, I'm going to let you brag a little bit about the local area. So, 2003, Ledger Golfer of the Year as we go into the All Sports Awards. So you're used to being there. You'll be on stage a few times on Tuesday. What's it like to grow up in a sports family in Lakeland, then stick around and wind up leaving, coming back, and coaching the college that you attended and graduated from?
Yeah, it's a full circle moment, right? Growing up in Lakeland, playing every sport I could imagine, going to Lakeland High School, which we had a very strong golf team. When I was there, we had, I think, my senior year, we had 7 players that went on to play either Division II or Division I from that roster. So very competitive from an early age. Mentioned to you guys earlier, I was a little bit late to competitive golf, so I took an opportunity to kind of be a preferred walk-on at Florida Southern and, kind of go earn my place. And where else to start, to get an opportunity was huge for me there to grow. And it was not all smooth sailing my first 3 years. I was fortunate to actually have an injury that gave me a redshirt year.
Okay.
My 5th year was my best year, and that's what kind of propelled me into thinking maybe I want to give this a chance professionally. And then, yeah, full circle moment. This Coach White stepping down at the time he did was the exact perfect timing for me to take advantage of maybe being the interim coach. Getting that opportunity was huge. And then, trying to do the best with it, do the best with that opportunity when I had it.
So my standard question for everyone who comes out of the golf game here in Polk County is, what is special about Polk County that has so many great golfers come out of here in the middle of the state?
That's a great question.
And you can run through you look at the youth villa
right.
lineup from year to year, and you're like, half these kids are going to go off and have a shot at the PGA. So
I think it started with what's obviously being Central Florida, right? You have great weather. We had great public course. Cleveland Heights was kind of our Lakeland kind of staple in the center of town, where we had tons of players in that junior citrus program, which used to be a big tournament throughout the state. I think it can kind of trace back originally maybe to some of that. Then with Lakeland High School being a great program with the Jansons and Beans from back in the day, and obviously Florida Southern, if we're bragging on ourselves, like us being in the central of Lakeland, that's always attracted high-level players. But yeah, I don't really know the exact answer. I just think it's a combination of probably a lot of factors. And then when guys see the path that some guys have taken to success, I think it just gives inspiration to like, oh, I can go do that. I definitely looked up to Andy Bean and didn't know Lee Jansen as well, but Andy living around here for years was like, man, that guy's like a god, in golf. So I think looking up to him and just being like, I'm going to chase whatever I can to do the best I can.
Yeah, it was always wild to think that he lived here.
Yeah,
he was a great guy. You bump into him and be like, wait a minute, is this Andy Bean? Yeah.
Brian, after such a great year, what have you learned from a coaching standpoint or a leadership standpoint that you'll carry over for next year? I know you said earlier that next year's team is going to be a little bit younger.
Right.
How are you going to, move forward with next year?
I think we have the blueprint from this year, kind of what works. There's going to be obviously tweaks every year. We lost 3 fifth-year guys, so in a sense, those guys didn't need a whole lot of coaching. Maybe some different practice motivations or different ways to kind of make their game excel. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit of probably a learning curve in the fall for us, just seeing who the new faces of who's going to kind of take over those spots in the lineup, right? There's 3 spots of guys who were big players for us that are leaving. So but yeah, I think my biggest thing I still continue to believe in is the competition, like I mentioned to you guys earlier, just putting them through the qualifying, right? Making them go compete, because the pressure of that is going to help them with the pressure of the competition down the stretch. We were ready for May, the postseason, whatever was thrown at us, because of the battle-tested, the guys being battle-tested from the entire season, whether it was trying to beat each other for a spot or trying to stay in the lineup. Once they got in, they have to play well to stay in, otherwise they're back in the qualifier. So it's just the constant stress and pressure of the competition that I think ultimately makes the entire team better and improvement.
Because you said there were 9 guys that everyone wound up contributing to a win, which is kind of a rarity in college.
For sure,
golf,
that's probably an unknown thing. That one of the things I'm most proud of is that of our first 5 regular season victories, all 9 players were a part of that top 5 to stand there and get the team trophy. So really cool.
Give us a little insight into the psychology of being a college golf coach, because as we were talking beforehand, it's a super individualized sport where it's you and a ball, and you've got to be driven to put in the time on your own. You can't have them out there, So how do you make that somewhat cohesive?
Right.
They're not killing each other in the drive-through at Taco Bell.
Yeah, it's different for everyone, right? It's you're navigating the psychological aspect of just the sport itself, helping the guys with their mental game or their physical game, and kind of managing their goals or their current form, and kind of either if they're playing well, trying to nudge them a little bit better, right? Or if they're not having so great of a year or maybe a small blip in their season, finding different positives to focus on. That's the more to the individual, but then yes, as a team, you're managing the entire team, where you're always going to have a few guys disappointed that they're not in the van. That's probably the one thing that I don't love about the college golf is you're leaving guys at home for competition, where every other sport, if you're a backup or a sub, you're at least dressed out, or even if you're injured, you're usually in a suit or in a warm-up suit on the bench. You're there, you're a part of the meetings. So that's what I try to feel like. Last year I included everybody with, hey, when we win, we all win. Like, we're all contributing to this team's better performance. And I think even the guys at the back end of the lineup, were big contributors on pushing those guys ahead of them to continue to improve.
Brian, you know, with over a decade basically of playing on numerous pro tours and being successful, coming back to Florida Southern, you're an alum. What makes you so passionate about really coaching the next generation of Florida Southern golfer and potential pro golfers?
Yeah, it's you know, it's a full circle moment, right? It's a place where I got my start, kind of was given an opportunity and made the most of it, and you know, so it means a lot when you've played there, right? So you want the best for it. As far as passion for helping golfers, I think I love golf. I feel like I can help in that sense, right? Starting over fresh, let's say maybe in a different industry, I would have been probably lost. So at least I feel like I have my doctorate in golf, kind of, so I can help. I want them, they're going to make mistakes, you know, over the years, learning things and learning course management and how to practice, but if I can help them limit those because I've already learned those, you know, I think that's the biggest thing that I'm passionate about, seeing guys who are already great players, and if I can help them just barely get a little bit better or a little more confident or a little bit more, you know, battle tested, I think that's what's the ultimate, you know, the satisfaction for a coach, right, is seeing the joy of them winning that title, and seeing the improvement from everyone on the team, even some guys that wouldn't have had maybe characterized their year as a successful individual year. Like, guys, you still got better and you made the team better by doing that, you know.
All right. Thank you, Coach Richey. We will see you in person on Tuesday, but we'll have you back again soon. It was a pleasure. Thank
Awesome,
you
guys.
for being here.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.